Hello guys, welcome to this fourth tutorial on Android app development. So today we are going to learn radio button and checkbox views. So let me first explain what a radio button and checkbox view actually is. Now radio button is something in which we allow only one option to be selected. Group. So let's take an example like gender. So gender can be either be male or either female. So we only select one. Whereas when we come to checkbox, here in checkbox we allow user to select one or more options. So the example can be, let's say a person has how many vehicles or he owns how many vehicles. So a person may own car as well as bike, so we can check both the things. So checkbox simply means that multiple values can be selected, and in radio button only one value will be selected at a time. So let us start with radio button control program first. So here I am already in my activity XML file. I have already created the project. So let's start with the design portion. So at first I'll create one radio group. Why I am creating radio group is because inside radio group I'll place my radio button so that only one will be selected at a time. So here inside this radio group I'll create two radio buttons. So I'll give the ID as RP1. I'll give ID to this radio button as well. So I'm giving the ID as RG. Now here I'll give some text. Let's say male. Now here I'll use some margin. So I'm directly using margin. Now I'll copy this and paste it. For the second one I'll simply this text to female and I'll change the ID as RB2. Now our radio button has been created. So let's create one button so that when I press on this particular button, my output will get generated. So I'll give some ID to this button. Let's say BTN. I'll give some text. Let's say submit. Let me use some text style. Okay, let us make this bold. Okay, I'll place this below radio group. So RG, yeah, it is below radio group. Now I'll give some margin. Top as 15 and margin left as, let's say, 15. I'll decrease this. I'll give 5 only. Okay, now it's looking good. So we need to print our value somewhere, so I'll use text view to print the result or value. So I'll give wrap content. Okay, now I'll bring this below this button which we have created, and I'll give some text size. So let's say 15 sp. I'll give some margin top. Let's say 10. and some margin left 15. So I think design is quite ready now, it's looking good as well. So let me create one text view out here as well, so that I can mention what we are actually doing. So I'll give some text. Okay, let me give some text size, so 20 sp, and I'll give some text as gender. So now here I'll use this below property, so I'm using tvm, so id as tvm. So now it's perfect. I'll use some margin left, margin top as well, say 10. Let me use some text color. Okay, black. Yeah, it's looking good now. So gender, anyone user will select. When clicked on this button, the selected gender will get printed. So let's move to this Java code. So here I'll create the objects. So I'll require only one, so I'm creating one text view only, one button, and then radio button, RB and RB2. So this much is enough. So we'll simply create the IDs. So find view by ID, r.id, and let's connect it with TV first. Okay, then RB equal to find view by ID, r.id dot the first one, that is RB1, and I'll copy this, paste it, change it to RB2 and 2. Yeah, now let's do it for the button. So find view by ID, so button is also done. Now let's create the on click event. So new, so everything has been implemented. Now inside this, let's do the coding part. So if my RB1, that is radio button 1, is checked, then I'll simply print the message in TV dot, in TV I am printing the message, you have selected, so you have selected, I will concatenate it. So RB dot get text dot toString. So this is done. If user has selected the first, that is male, then it will simply print the male, else it will print the other option, that is the second one. So here I'll simply change it to TB2, that is female. So if user has selected male, then it will print male, and vice versa. So let's go out here and I'll show you one new thing in this radio button. So like for example, if you can see this, here we haven't checked or we haven't selected anyone. So if you want any of this value to be selected at first itself, so you can use this property known as checked. So what will happen is it will already be checked. So it's up to us. So here I'll give false. So one is selected, one is not, so automatically the option will be given. So this also we can do. If we don't do, then nothing will come. So I'll show both. Now right now we have already selected one, so let's run this. So my project is running. It will take few seconds to install the app. Okay, it's saying that we have one error. Let me see. Okay, I guess I haven't given the ID for this one. Yeah, so ID has not been given, so I'll simply give the ID. Yeah, now the error is solved. We'll run it again. So as I said, ID is very much important. If we forget, then it will throw some error. So we have to mention the ID and connect it with our view. So yeah, it's done now. The app is installing. So here you can see that mail is already checked. Now if I click on this female, so likewise I'll click on submit. So I have selected male. Now I'll click on female. Now female. So let's remove this checked one, checked attribute. So I'll go out here. I'll remove this checked attribute. Now see, the checked thing is gone. Now let's run it. Now this checked option won't be there, so any one we can select. So it's up to us whether to mention that checked attribute or not. So here you can see that now I'm selecting male, so it's printing the output. Selecting male, female, then it's giving me the result. So I hope you guys understood this program. Now let's move to the second one, that is checkbox control. Now in checkbox we can select multiple values at a time. So I'll just remove few things from here. Let's say I'll change this to vehicle. Now I'll remove this entire radio group. Now in place of this, what I'll do is I'll create 3 checkbox. So let us mention the ID, CH, okay, CH. Now let's give some text. Let's say the first one is car. So I'll just place this button below CH, okay, and I will place this below our PVM. So yeah, now everything is good. So I'll use some margin property, margin top, let's say 5, and margin left 15. Okay, now it's looking good. Some text size 15. Okay, 15 is good. Text color, let's say black. Okay, I have created one checkbox control. Now I'll copy this twice so that there will be 3 checkbox. So I'll change the ID ch2 and ch3. So let's give the second one as bike and third one as, let's say, truck or something else. Okay, I'm using truck for time being. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll place this checkbox to right of car. So I'll use right of the ID, that is ch. So likewise in the third one also I'll use this right of ID ch1, ch2. Okay, yeah, perfect. So now you can see I have placed it perfectly. It's looking good as well. Now let's move to the coding portion, and here I'll change it to ch2, ch first one, ch2, here ch. So I'll change this radio button to checkbox and create the object ch, ch2, ch3. So one more I have to create for the third one. So the third one, ch3, ch3. So everything is done. Now let's do the coding portion. So here what I'll do is I'll create one object where I'll hold the values. So let's say I'm creating something known as result. Now I'll use if condition. If ch is checked, then I'll print my value in result. So you have selected, so I'll use the same thing, that is ch.getText.toString. Now another one, that is if ch2 dot ch1 dot okay, I haven't created, okay, ch1 is not there, that is why ch2 dot is checked. Okay, now here I'll print the second one. I'll remove this. Now here before this what I'll do is I'll use concatenate, that is plus symbol, so that if two values are selected then that second value will also get attached. So for that purpose I'm using this plus equal to. Now I'll change this to ch2. Likewise if the third one is selected, then also it will do the same thing. So ch3, now result ch3. Now I'll print the entire result inside text view. Sorry, tv dot set text. Here I'll print the result. So that was my main purpose, to create this result. So inside result I'm holding the values and I'm simply printing the result value inside my text view. So let's run this. I guess everything is okay. Everything looks good. let's check if there is any error. So Cradle build has started. Now in few seconds our app will get installed. If there is some error, that also will find, but I don't think so there will be any error. So yeah, our result is there. Now let's select the first one, that is car. So you have selected car. Now I am selecting two things, bike as well. So bike is also printing. Now truck. So let's do one thing, let's print this in the next line, all three results. So I'll simply give /n. Here as well I'll give /n, and the same thing I'll do for this. So let's run it again. So because of that, this plus equal to, that is concatenation, we are able to print more than one values. So I am selecting two things at once. So we have selected car and bike. Okay, I guess I have to put this after. Yeah, now it's perfect. I'm running it again. So selecting two things, printing. So you have selected car, bike. So let's say I'm selecting the third one as well, so truck. So our checkbox control program is executing perfectly. So I'm sure that you all understood both the programs of radio button view and checkbox view. So if you have any doubts, you can write it in the comment section below, or else you can text me. So thank you guys for watching.